We are Spotlights, and we're blowing it up on Capital Chaos TV.
All right, this is the Iron Serbian of Capital Chaos TV, and we're hanging out here close to the Ace of Spades with Sarah, Mario, and Chris of Spotlights. How's it going?
Good. Hot, a little hot.
Welcome back to Sacramento.
Thank you. We're excited to be back.
It's been a while since you were here. You were here last year with the Melvins, correct?
Yeah, we were here last summer with the Melvins, and it was also very hot.
I remember in the club it was pretty hot too.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of felt like there was no AC, but, you know, it makes it more rock and roll, I guess.
Is that what it is? Sweaty?
That's how you do it, I guess, yeah.
And how did you guys get, just a couple of silly questions, how did you originally get into music? What turned you on to rock, and did you ever like funk or soul?
Actually, the Melvins are the reason why I wanted instruments in my hand, but I love all music. Anything my ear likes, I like it. I lean towards heavier music, but I'm not opposed to other music. Yeah.
How would you answer that question?
For myself, I think I got into music. I had two older sisters, and I kind of just raided their tape collections and record collections, and our parents were always playing music in the house too, but I kind of through that got into like some of the progressive music and punk stuff that they were listening to, and just developed from there. Funk or soul, like James Brown, yeah, I'm down with that. A lot of older jazz too, but that's about it for me. Yeah. What about you, Chris?
Similar to Mario, I had a sister, so a lot of new wave in the house when the 80s were happening, and that was sort of what got me into stuff. So, yeah. And I do like funk and soul. Very good stuff. Yeah. Motown, into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
What was the local scene like in the beginning? Was it very competitive? And were there any particular acts that you aspire to be like from your local scene?
Well, we've moved around quite a bit, Mario and I, but as far as the Brooklyn local scene, it's really supportive. Everybody really helps each other out if you're a kind, respectful person, but I feel like it's kind of that way everywhere. But there, everyone works really hard, and everyone's super helpful, and, you know, we moved there not knowing anybody, and it was really easy to go out to shows and start meeting people and hanging out, and that's how we found Chris, our drummer.
Yeah.
So, the Brooklyn scene's great.
Anything to add?
Yeah, St. Vitus. Yeah, they're a huge part of the music scene. Yeah.
I know here in Sacramento, when I say competitive, I mean there's lots of great shows going on every night. So,
Yeah.
and like last night, we had Social Distortion sell the Ace of Spades out. We had the Melvins sell out Holy Diver, and it's a great thing to have too many choices.
Yes. Yeah, and that happens a lot in Brooklyn and New York. I mean, you know.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of the places, a lot of the really good venues have had to close down just because rents are so high in New York now that nobody can really sustain a decent business there. But places like St. Vitus are still hanging on, and you know, there's a few that are struggling and keeping the scene alive. So hopefully that keeps going. Yeah.
It's a very strong scene out there. I'm from there, so you know, it's had ebbs and flows, but it's at an all-time high right now, I would say. And yeah.
Especially for heavy music. Especially for heavy music. Yeah, I think Brooklyn is probably one of the best places out in the world right now for heavy music, and aspiring Quicksand probably who we're on tour with right now is who I aspired to be when I was growing up. So it's kind of a full circle moment, you know.
What's driving the rents up? What's that all about?
People, there's so many people there. It's kind of absurd, but
and just greedy real estate people, you know, buying up properties and building properties and, you know, just ridiculously overpricing them because they know that people want to move to New York, and they know that people will pay whatever it takes to be there, and you end up with, you know, 10 people in a 2-bedroom apartment paying $1,000 a piece. Sometimes it's just kind of ridiculous, but yeah, unfortunate.
Dad?
Well, yeah, I mean, I used to live in the East Village, you know, right around the corner from CBGB's, and I paid $1,000 a month. It's not like that anymore. It's definitely at least $3,000 to live in a place like that today. So it is what it is. I mean, it's a city, so that's usually what happens in places like that. So, but what comes with that is good art sometimes, because it's just a lot of people creating, and everyone wants to move there, and it's inspiring. So it's a price you have to pay sometimes, but it's not easy. So, you know, make it work.
And as a critically acclaimed band, do you read reviews and stay up to date on the latest gossip?
Me personally, I do not. I don't even really like to look at social media too much, especially the state our country is in right now. I don't want to see any of it. It breaks my heart and it makes me angry. So I try to limit myself to the gossip and all that nonsense, because I don't think I could handle it right now. Yeah.
What about reviews? Do you read reviews as well?
Like our own or other bands?
Or just in general? I mean, do you ever buy music based on a review, or is that beyond?
I love keeping up on reviews, and just I try to read up as much on whoever, you know, whatever kind of music, just to kind of keep up on what's going on. And I don't know, I've found a ton of good music and bad music through people reviewing. I think there's a lot of really good outlets that do a good job reviewing, and you know, even if they're just online blogs or whatever, it's a good way to find bands, definitely.
Are there any particular blogs or websites that you would recommend that people go to get stuff that tickles your fancy?
Well, we're a little biased, but the new Revolver is actually really good. They've done a great job at kind of turning things around and supporting bands that through a bigger outlet like that might not get that exposure. And there's a great blog from I think they're in the UK, called Echoes and Dust, who they're smaller, but they do an excellent job of covering a lot of really great music. But there's so many, it's just a lot.
You care to chime in on that?
Yeah, I mean, I love Metal Injection, and I work at Revolver, so obviously I'm biased there, but also, Loudwire is a great one. They're all great. They all serve different purposes, you know.
Yeah,
Brooklyn Vegan, Decibel, they all cover different aspects of heavy music, so there's a lot of good stuff out there for people to check out. Yeah.
Capital Chaos TV.
Thank you.
Being married and on tour, you're truly joined at the hip.
Yeah.
To some degree. Do you have joint or separate Facebook accounts?
Well, we have separate personal, but joint, for the band. We both manage the band page, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some people don't, and however that works for them,
however it works for you. I mean, we're one unit basically.
Yeah.
For everything, so makes it easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what does Aaron Harris bring to Spotlights?
Awesomeness. He's great. He helped us produce and record Seismic and played drums on it, and he just has an amazing ear and good ideas, and he's super easy to work with, and we love him. He's awesome.
It's great. Everything she said. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't around it.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
He wasn't there yet.
And how hard is it to nail down just one cover for the new EP? And has there been any, I know it's only been a few weeks, but has there been any feedback from The Cure?
No, we haven't heard from The Cure, but I would love to. I would love to know what they think or what Robert Smith thinks. But it wasn't that hard to nail down. That's a song that, at least me personally, I've been wanting to cover for a long time, and I'm a huge Cure fan. Especially of like that era of stuff. So it wasn't that hard. It was something I've been thinking about for a long time, but finally, like with this band, I felt like it was the perfect outlet for it, I guess. Yeah.
And Depeche Mode fans here?
Oh yeah.
Talk a little bit about Depeche Mode at all?
Yeah, I mean, when I was saying earlier that my sister played new wave in the house, Depeche Mode was one of those things. I even listened to it with my dad sometimes, so it was a big deal growing up, and they're still really relevant today. So I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
Same here. That was actually the first tape that I stole from my oldest sister. I think it was Black Celebration I took from her tape collection, and then it started it out. Yeah.
And you said obviously you're familiar with Glassjaw and Quicksand. Have you gotten the I know it's about you're halfway through the tour, right? Mm-hmm. Have you got an opportunity to jump up on stage and sing a song with them at all?
Not yet.
Not yet. Hopefully soon. We would love to do that.
Is that kind of thing that sometimes happens while you're on tour? Did you get a chance? Have you gotten a chance to jump up on stage with the Melvins at all?
Yeah, last summer we got on stage and played Lysol with them probably 55 times. So that was incredible. It's super fun. Once we learned the song and rehearsed it, ever since that night, we played with them every night. So it was incredible.
So that kind of fun type stuff, that kind of fun activity, still it does go on. It does. It's not just.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Deftones, when we toured with them, Chino came on stage for our last show in Salt Lake City and sang with Mario. So it was cool. Yeah.
How sweet is that?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And how familiar are you with? Well, you said the Deftones. How familiar are you with Sacramento and our other artists?
I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I have a pretty bad memory. I don't know. I don't so I'm bad with names. I'm bad with, places. I'm just like, oh, where are we at? Like for me, if a band is good, they're good. I don't like dig real hard. I'm just like, I like what you play, and it's about as deep as I go. But I know a lot of bands come out of here, and it's a really good scene, and we love playing here. Everybody's really nice to us here, and
well, we're happy to have you back.
Yeah.
Sacramento, any of you guys?
Chris
I mean,
probably has
I
more
really like Far. I grew up listening to Far and One Line Drawing, and I love, obviously, Deftones, and Will Haven's another one. Really good scene out here. Great stuff, yeah.
I'm semi-geographically handicapped when it comes to bands also, so I didn't know Helmet was from New York until after 3 years of listening to them, so, and one of my favorite bands.
It's kind of like you want to go to the record store and buy stuff, and then once you walk in, you blank. Like, that's pretty much my whole life happens. Yeah, people ask me a question, I'm like, an hour later, I'll figure it out. Yeah.
Maybe next time you go to a record store, you could use your MapQuest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MapQuest. That's old school. I like that.
MapQuest. It is
Poor
old, isn't it?
MapQuest.
And on your recent European tour, you hit the Roadburn Festival, correct?
We did, yeah.
Did it meet your expectations?
Oh, it was beyond expectations. It was incredible.
What were some of the highlights for you, or at least one?
Just how mellow everybody was and how clean it was and just respectful.
Clean?
Yeah, it was very clean. There was no trash anywhere. People were super respectful of the land, and that was incredible to see. Most humans just trash everywhere they go, especially at festivals, and it was great. And the city of Tilburg just opened their arms to everybody, and they were super welcoming to everyone in black, walking around being metal. So it was great. It was cool.
Huh?
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Care to share a little bit of your experience?
Yeah. I mean, the show itself that we got to play was incredible, and the crowd was amazing. The support for everybody playing there was so incredible that I've never really experienced anything like that. And back to Tilburg, they actually legalized marijuana and psychedelic mushrooms just for the time of Roadburn.
Oh, wow.
For Roadburners. Yeah. So we could all learn a little bit from Tilburg.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, pretty much everything these guys just said. I mean, the way that the festival was nothing like any festival I've ever seen, and I go to a lot, but the bands were great. Godspeed You Black Emperor was the first time I saw them. That was a huge highlight for me. So, yeah, it was awesome. It's really cool.
So what's next? You got another week and a half with Quicksand and Glassjaw, right? Are you taking some time off, or is it more?
No, we end in Austin, Texas with them, and we have a date to get up to Connecticut and join Pallbearer for some dates. We have 5 shows with them.
Yep.
Just like a little East Coast run, and then we're gonna go home for a minute, and then go back out in October for a small run, and then start working on our record.
Nice.
Yeah.
Finally, what does heavy metal mean to you?
Everything. I love it. Ever since I was a little kid, it just made sense to my soul and my energy and my wanting to headbang everywhere. capabilities. So I don't know. Yeah, I love it. I just love the energy. I love the emotion. You know.
Cool.
Yeah.
And heavy metal? So?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it kind of brings out in music like all the emotional aspects and the heavy aspects and like the true feeling of what you can get out of playing in a rock band. You know, there's no, it's kind of it can be no holes barred. Yeah, just for lack of a better term, balls out is what I like about it.
I was always a huge metalhead, so it gave me an identity and helped me find a tribe to align with. And if it wasn't for heavy metal, I wouldn't know half the people that I know. So, and I wouldn't have gotten into punk rock or anything else. So, yeah, big deal for me. Yeah.